Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. And it's ladies' night at the Palace Hotel Ballroom. What's going on, everybody? I'm EJ. This is the Space and Rocket Review. Complete with special guest. Special guest, are you out there? Okay, cool. Sweet.
Sorry, what you talking about? What?
Huh?
Huh?
You introduce yourself to the people on the internet.
Oh, hi, it's Ryan.
Oh.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, it's Ryan.
What?
Yeah, it's Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got Ryan with me today, doing some space news fun. All right. It's ladies' night.
Happens.
Yeah, it's ladies' night, and Ryan is here. So I don't know what that means, but you know.
What?
Hello from the internet, Ryan. All right, there we go. Is that the ghost of Ship 26? Yeah, no. We have a combustion byproducts. That's what's going on. We have a combustion byproducts. All right, so let's jump in. Let's start right here. We had an update from Dave Limp, who's the CEO of Blue Origin. This is an update on the NG4 anomaly. All right. Wanted to give an update on the hot fire anomaly investigation. Progress continues. The anomaly originated at the main oxygen valve on one of the BE4 engines, which was later confirmed by hardware recovery and inspections. Extensive component level and engine hot fire tests have been conducted to understand the failure mode better and inform mitigations. The path forward is clear. We're making small modifications to the valve that can be quickly retrofitted to existing engines. We're manufacturing the updated hardware, which will be ready by the end of this month. And in parallel, we're working through the remaining fault tree analysis. It says the anomaly originated at the main valve. It sounds like the main valve failed and it started leaking. That's my guess. What do you think?
That seems like it is. The one thing I do want to add to this, and I'm glad they're figuring it out. Obviously, I mean, I didn't really expect anything else. But if it started at the main valve, what happened so fast that the whole rocket went boom, and why wasn't there a failsafe to stop it from going further?
That tells me leak, dude. That's what that tells me.
Like, there wasn't a failsafe to shut things off? Oops. Or maybe it was too... That's be pretty quick for no software failsafes to kick in, or hardware for that matter.
So, yeah, I don't know, dude. That's a good question. Deadbringer, what are you saying? B4 is the cause. Might that impact Vulcan? I don't think it's the B4 per se, because... So see where it says inlet right there? Locks? That's what the valve would be attached to. The valve is part of the rocket per se. I mean, it really kind of depends on how you look at it, but I don't see any valve there. Do you? That looks like that looks like a the oxygen impeller right
there. It's weird.
So
just
I think it's a leak. I think they sprung a leak. And they didn't have the proper feed pressure for the impeller, and then the impeller, when turbine impellers on engines, guys, don't have the proper feed pressure, they explode. Yeah, to put it very lightly.
Like if for some reason they had a leak that then got bad in a flash, in an instant, you would have need to lose so much pressure to then cavitate your pump, and then for it to shred itself into little bitty pieces and then blow up. Like, all that had to have happened in a half second.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Man, did their LOX valve, like, blow open Because even like a small leak shouldn't cause the impeller to blow. That would require like losing almost all pressure on the lock side, or like even like half of it. That would be a significant leak to cause that.
Yeah, I honestly think that they may have severed a line, granted the energy of the explosion. Aren't the bearings using locks as the fluid? I don't know. I don't know on the B4.
Probably
Maybe.
air bearings, but or as close as you can get to that.
Well, believe it or not, B4 and Raptor come from the same. They're in the same family tree of rockets. I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but they all
Well, they
come.
are.
They all come from the Integrated Powerhead demo from the Air Force Research Laboratory. So they are relatives, believe it or not, dudes. So Raptor uses hydrostatic bearings. Raptor uses the propellants for lubrication, for the spinny bits. Now, whether Blues does that or not, I don't know. I actually have no idea. I would guess probably, but it's hard to say. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, dudes, this really kind of... The anomaly originated at the main oxygen valve. Maybe the valve didn't open all the way, Ryan. Maybe it didn't open. Maybe it got stuck in the closed position.
Maybe half open.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Maybe something may have been missed. The valve failed, half opened. Like the engine tried to start, which that's also a problem too. If your valve didn't half open and the engine tried to start, you've got some control logic problems right there. It's a control logic that needs to be changed as well. If like there's something wrong with the valve and the system didn't detect it in time, or didn't detect it at all, or your things weren't quick enough to react, that's also a software thing that have to get fixed. Not just hardware, but software too.
Rocket Science is telling me in the Twitch chat, I think a spark originated inside of the main valve. I've heard you've heard was valve chattering. Yeah, that's also a problem.
Yeah.
So valve chattering is when the valve basically flaps like this and goes, which is also a control problem. Which is, yeah, that's not great. Why didn't it abort? Was it too fast? Lev, so here's the thing. It looks like they went to hot fire. It stopped, but it's too late. Ryan and I always say, like, if you get cavitation in the impeller, it's going to blow up. What happens there is that if the impeller doesn't have the proper feed, what's going to happen is it'll start to rip apart your liquid oxygen propellant, and like little mini pockets of vacuum will open up. And because it's vacuum, right, and there's a lot of low pressure inside of these bubbles, so to speak, it gets superheated like extremely quickly. So if this was what was going on, the second cavitation happens, you're gonna have a fire. You're gonna have a fire.
It's just gonna go boom.
Yeah.
At that point, if you don't shut it down quick enough, and it wasn't shut down quick enough.
I'm okay, Oliver. Yeah, my voice is coming around, but I got Ryan to help me today, just so I don't put too much strain on it.
Which I'll say. I mean, Elon made that jab yesterday, but he also was making the jab at himself because they've blown up rockets too. Mm-hmm. And then your reaction was pretty funny on that one during the call.
Oops! I was like, "Oh, he did." All right.
By the way, SpaceX did a whole PR post on the Falcon 9 second stage that slammed into the moon.
Oh, all right. So, I mean, guys, yeah, plumbing is what plumbing is what we kind of suspected. I mean, what else would it have been, right? Interesting that it's the valve, though. Now, a lot of you guys are asking if it's for, will this affect Vulcan? I do believe Vulcan uses a different configuration of the BE4, so I don't think it's going to affect it too much.
I think Vulcan will be fine. You got to remember, Blue specifically, I think when they first started, they were using those BE4s alongside the ones that were on Vulcan, and then basically they've been trying to make theirs more reusable. And what's the point in giving ULA the more expensive, more advanced BE4s? What's the point? It's not like they're going to reuse them. So if you give them a good enough engine, they'll just use that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the ones that are flying on New Glenn are are very different from the ones flying on Vulcan. I would not be shocked on that one.
All right. So we'll see. Either way, guys, like, just, I don't know why this wouldn't have shown itself in some kind of testing. That's the real big kicker here. Why did this valve fail?
Yeah.
Why did this valve chatter?
Or do whatever it did.
Yeah.
Cause it to fail.
That's, if anything,
that's concerning.
That's what scares me, because okay, look, ideally, the reason why, like, Ryan knows this, I know this, right? Like, what you do with aerospace stuff is that you test every individual component, and then you start putting it all together, and then there are certain points in your assembly, right, where you want to test more and more things, right? It's integrated testing over time. The fact that this problem came out of the blue, sorry, the fact that this problem came out of nowhere, right, and didn't happen on a previous booster tells me that they either A, changed something with You'll Thank Me Later, right? They changed something with You'll Thank Me Later, which was the GS1 stage that exploded, right? Or they didn't, like, if they changed something, then that's great. Then you can say, oh, this change that we made to GS1 is the reason why it popped. But if they didn't change anything, then we got a big problem here, because that means the only reason that this problem didn't happen with the first New Glenn stage that they got back, that's Never Tell Me the Odds, right? The only reason it didn't happen with that is pure luck, which is scary. You know? You'll Thank Me Later. No, It's Necessary is the name of the stage that popped. Excuse me. You'll Thank Me Later is the name of the barge.
That's a big ship. That's a big ship.
Yeah. Rocket Science,
saying... there's another ship we can talk about in a little bit. I'm seeing things.
So you taking a big ship out there? What are you doing?
There's a big ship heading somewhere.
Oh, all right. Rocket Science, I guarantee that you just got lucky. That's not great, dude. Yeah. Got to do more testing. But you have the B series test stand to fix that, so should be good. Anyway,
and I will say this for this is SpaceX over the years has gotten and I said this when New Glenn exploded. Over the years, SpaceX has gotten unbelievably lucky. I think they got pretty lucky on their T0 abort for Flight 13. There.
I agree with that.
I think they got pretty lucky there.
Yep. Fought in the turbo pumps, not causing an explosion is a great, like, an act of God. That's like divine intervention.
You had moisture in your pumps, and you didn't. And you, I mean, if it had been more than moisture, who knows what happens? But like, I mean, it's a bit concerning on that one. But you know, SpaceX has been lucky, and Blue Origin wasn't. We'll just go with that.
Yep. See, Greg, and I think maybe from this discussion, someone might have forgotten to do their harmonics analysis. That mission was going to be the most powerful New Glenn stage, so they were ramping up their B7 and probably hit a harmonic. A harmonic that causes valve chattering? Yeah.
The B7?
I think...
B7 wasn't even firing.
Yeah, I think C. Kraken meant B4, but yeah.
I was about to say.
Hey... John Kochis, what's up? Mr. Coffee, $2 EJ Coffee Fund. I could make a coffee right now if you want. No, I know what you meant, Sea-Kraken. It's all good. Should I make a coffee right now? Like, I can do that. We have the technology. And I have my Ford mug. I mean, you super chatted it, so now I guess I got to do it. Coffee sounds great, actually. All right. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's use this one. I'll take a coffee. I do have a little bit of a headache. Coffee.
You know, EJ,
What's up?
before we talked about what SpaceX was going to do with Chip 40.
Yeah.
Topaz Sphere, I think is the ship name. It's called a heavy load carrier.
Is it a semi-submersible?
I don't think it is.
Oh, that's
Doesn't look like it is. But she's 123 meters long and 16.7 meters wide, and she's on her way to Dampier.
What's the name of this ship?
Here. Let me just do this.
Coffee.
I know. I've been looking at ships going to. I've been keeping an eye on ships going in and out, and I don't know. It's a big ship. If they've got a crane, it fit. That's for sure.
We confirmed that Dampier has enough lifting capacity. They have lattice cranes there. There's 2 of them.
Well, then that they can lift it. So if you put it, there's more than enough room to put it on this ship. This ship's pretty big.
What is this? Whoa.
He's a big ship. You can fit the ship if needed. I think that's holding a. Is that getting pushed by a tug or holding a tug?
it's getting pushed by one. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that is a big one.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's going there for another reason. I have no idea if it's normal or not.
We'll see. Also, I called Ship 40 being towed by the engine section. I called that, and I'm not sorry. I called it.
It would either go by the catch points, which are rated to hold it.
They're not going to.
But it's only two. That's only 2 points of contact though, so that gets kind of iffy when you're trying to tow that. Or you hook into the 6 points for the ship clamps go into.
I don't know if
what they did.
Yep. I don't know if you guys saw this because the beginning of this week I wasn't doing very well. So CNN got some pictures from a satellite company called Vantor, and Vantor showed the Norman Ranger towing Ship 40. There it is. It's currently that and the Skimmer Tide with Go Australis are pulling Ship 40 back to Dampier. They're going to Dampier, Australia.
It looks like Skimmer Tide and Go Australis, especially Go Australis, they've gone back to shore. I think the recovery crew is off, taking off.
Okay,
they hung out there for a while. It's been what? Yeah. It's almost been 2 weeks since it landed. 2 weeks. This Friday.
2 weeks.
That's weird to say that the ship is still alive at that point, but I think the Norman Ranger's towing it by itself right now. The other 2 ships are gone.
Cool.
And it won't get to the Australian shore for like another 10 to 14 days.
Yeah.
It could take a while. They're going at like 1 to 3 knots. It's gonna take a while.
Not quick. Do you watch those videos on Discord? No, I have not. I didn't have time. John, I took off last night. I played 1 game of Battlefield just to see if the aiming was fixed from the new patch. And then I went to bed. And then I slept basically until the stream started, dude. I can't be sick. It's not okay. All right. They're not pushing it and they're praying for quiet seas. Yep. Let's hope the waters stay good there. Yeah, they're towing it backwards, Perseus. Yep. If they towed by the lifting pins, is there anything that would stop the slings from falling off the point without tension?
Well, they're not towing it by the lifting pins, so.
Well, Drew asked if they were.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd come up with some other type of secure mechanism, but anyway, they put something under the aft end skirt to basically lift it up out of the water. Interesting. The Topaz Star is a heavy load carrier. It could do it. It's built in 2018. It's 123 by 16.7 meters, flagged out of the Marshall Islands. Yeah, that's what Ryan was telling me. And we did say, we did we did the research. Dampier is a pretty big industrial port in Australia, guys. They have the cranes. Dampier's over here. There's Exmouth. There's Dampier. So if you look right here, it doesn't look like much. Like there's a little small cove, right? But then if you go up here, there's definitely enough heavy docks and stuff being built here. I mean, and guys, like this heavy dock right here is under construction, but you see the two lattice cranes right there? Now, I don't know if those are the two lattice cranes that are actually there. Those two can lift Starship. Those two guys right there. That yellow one could probably lift it by itself. But if these cranes are in the vicinity, yeah, they could lift it up out of the water. That's no problem. Like, honestly, it's not a big deal. You could use this dock right here. That dock has it's not a crawler crane, but it is a lattice crane. That thing might be able to lift it. But yeah, the point is that there is the infrastructure out there in the remote parts of Australia here that absolutely can lift it. Yeah, you could use this dock over here. Yeah, there's plenty of space here. What was the boat that's heading there called again? That's the Normand Ranger. It's actually, I'm pretty sure that that's it right there. You could see it on Google Earth. I'm pretty sure. Like, if we go over here and I open up Ryan's post again, like, take a look.
Or at least it's close to.
It's not the same vessel. It's close. It's very similar, but that's not it. No, it's close. That's the same type of vessel, but it's not the same one. Well, I mean, dude, it's possible that that's it. It's close. I think the Foxhole is a little bit different on this ship, but it's definitely a similar type of vessel. The back has the same graphic on it. Those two cranes are still there, Alexander? All right. Yeah, you're the one that told me? All right, cool. X-Wing, I have an idea. Request? Once the Starlink constellation is full and it's just a replenishment, could SpaceX start launching a Dyson swarm? You'd need a lot of satellites to do that.
I'm just going to say this. For that, you would need more material that's up than the Earth consists of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would need to take material from Earth, from Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the asteroid belt, the moons of Mars, or the moons of Jupiter, moons of Saturn, and then you might have enough material to do that.
I honestly don't think we would. The sun's huge.
Well, like the question is what range are you putting the Dyson sphere at? Are we going 300 million kilometers? Are we doing like a Dyson sphere from like the Dyson sphere from Star Trek, the Janolan sphere? Because like even enough to do coverage of that, like it's ridiculous.
Fluffy, you got another picture, huh? Yeah, I mean, so a Dyson sphere is basically building a sphere around the sun to harvest all of the sun's energy. It'd be like if you just made a sphere of solar panels around the sun, right?
It's still I mean, even if you're doing a Dyson swarm, the amount of material you still need is ridiculous to the point of insanity. Something the human race cannot do at this point in time. Period.
I like what people in chat said. So you're saying there's a chance. A swarm doesn't equal sphere. Yeah, I know. I think Halo.
I mean, though Halo, the original Halo rings were 30,000 kilometers long, wide. I mean, that was the greater Halo array from the greater arc. The problem is it wasn't used very much because the Forerunners found out they couldn't put it through slip space as well because the rings are a little bit too big, so they made smaller rings. That's in the lore. They made the smaller rings.
He's not wrong. And then that's when they made that's when they made the arc to be able to spread the rings.
The lesser arc.
The lesser arc, correct.
Yeah. Yep. This is the greater arc and the lesser arc. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The lesser arc is the one that you see in Halo 3.
Yep.
How do you guys not know this?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Can we get away with it?
We should do what we need. Again, we need to do a Halo run.
Can we get away with an O'Neill cylinder? Yeah, probably. Yeah, you could do an O'Neill cylinder, sure. But you got so you got to remember when we're talking about building at this scale, all right? So say we do make an O'Neill cylinder, all right? That is such a big installation, right? That you will start screwing around with the gravitational pull. Even a small inconsequential amount of gravitational difference so say we had a Halo ring, say we had installation 04 floating around Earth. Oh, that would screw up the orbit, our orbit too much, the moon. Oh yeah, that would screw with the moon.
Mess with the moon a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be like having another moon.
That's a lot of mass. And then, having a galactic super weapon nearby isn't really the greatest idea, per se.
I mean... Yeah.
and especially if it's installation 04, the flutter on board. I don't know if I want that close to Earth.
I was just using it as an example, but yeah, that's a good point.
I wouldn't want the flood this close to Earth because you don't have the technology to beat the flood. We'd have to fire the ring and kill all humanoid life on Earth. And
yeah, we wouldn't want to do that.
And we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we said crossing the streams was bad. Anyway, all right, next bit of news. So, okay, I haven't heard many people talk to me about this in either chat, Ryan, but I don't know if you've probably seen it on the news. Normies seem to be very obsessed with this, and I have no freaking idea why. This is the kind of question that I get asked, my neighbors and stuff ask me about who, they aren't well versed in space. They're like, what's going on? So SpaceX is, there's a Falcon 9 that was left over from the Blue Ghost mission. That the second stage was in a lunar orbit and it's decaying. And it's going to crash into the moon. Yeah, here. So it's very interesting that this of all things has garnered an insane amount of press. Not Starship, not the perfect reentry, right? Nothing like that has garnered, the perfect reentry Ship 40, them towing Ship 40 back. I mean, CNN is even remotely interested in that, which I give them credit where credit is due. But it's like, SpaceX is going to crash something into the moon. So SpaceX put out this, their response to it. Let's see what it says. On January 15, 2025, Falcon 9 successfully deployed Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost 1 mission and iSpace's Resilience lunar landers on a trajectory to the moon from Pad 39A in Florida. Blue Ghost was a success, by the way. Yeah. For most of our missions, we plan to control the orbit of the Falcon's second stage so it re-enters safely over the ocean. For higher energy missions like those to a lunar transfer orbit, nearly all performance on the vehicle is devoted to successfully placing the payload in an intended orbit. And a controlled disposal maneuver is not always possible. We actively work to be as responsible as possible with the hardware left in space to ensure space safety, including for more complex missions. In this case, over time, solar activity and gravity led the second stage towards the moon. Impacts like this are rare, but they can happen with the objects in these types of orbits. And we worked with NASA on the optimal disposal solution. Our focus remains on advancing reliable access to space while working toward an even more sustainable operations with Starship in the future. As a fully reusable vehicle, Starship is designed to eliminate expendable upper stages entirely, reducing hardware left on orbit and even enabling more missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. So, guys, I'm not running PR cover for SpaceX here. Guys, stuff crashes into the Moon all the time.
I'm just gonna say this.
That's the honest truth.
You know what that was? SpaceX is saying, "Hey, that's why we crashed in the Moon." Now shut up.
Yeah.
That's literally it's
Dude, guys.
Oh no, a rocket stage crashed into the Moon. It's not like we did that back in the 60s and 70s with Apollo missions.
Exactly. All right. So here, let's turn this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this tabloid headline about spaceflight into an opportunity to learn. Okay. So there are experiments, Ryan, that were during the Apollo program. Are you familiar with the ALSEP experiments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was one of the ALSEP experiments that is in context here?
If I remember correctly, those were we put, because it was in the earlier missions, we put seismic experiments on the Moon.
Yes.
And then we were like, okay, well, we want to. So this was an attempt to learn how the Moon was made up. So what's the best way to do that? Well, you could trigger a shockwave across the Moon. Well, how do you do that? Shove an S4B upper stage straight into the Moon.
That's exactly what we did.
A few of them, in fact.
The ALSEP experiments are the Apollo Lunar Surface Experiments package. During the Apollo program, the astronaut Neil and Buzz, Pete and Al, everybody, they put down seismographs on the Moon as part of the surface experiments packages, and then they purposely crashed upper stages. S4B, the Saturn V third stage that did the translunar injection burn, they crashed that into the surface to get the seismographs to start detecting things. And they're at all the different landing sites so they could get pings on different distance to see how far that sound from the stage hitting the Moon, how that sound propagated through the entire Moon. Could you hear it on this landing site that's 1,000 miles away, or as opposed to the one that's 500 miles away, right? And we figured out that the Moon has lava tubes from that. We figured out that the Moon has caves from doing those experiments. And we figured out that the Moon was previously geologically active, not because it has a molten core like Earth or plate tectonics, right? But we figured out that the Moon got really, really hot from getting, well, I don't have any other better way to say this, getting bitch slapped by whatever hit it on the close side. Like something hit the Moon really, really hard. And that's what that gray area is. If you look up at the Moon, you see a bunch of lunar basaltic low regions, right? It's the darker gray areas. That's left over from something really freaking big hitting the Moon. And when two things collide in space, if you get friction, it's going to generate a ton of heat. And that heat that was generated by whatever hit the Moon was enough to basically turn some of the Moon into lava. And there you go. We got lava tubes. We figured that out from crashing stages into the Moon. It happens. It happens all the time. Like the stuff, the Moon pulls in rocks all the time that impacted. They saw two impacts on Artemis 2 when they transited the far side of the Moon. If you guys remember when they did the far side transit, they saw some flares. They saw lights on the ground. That's from little tiny rocks hitting the Moon. The Moon gets bombarded all the time from everything. Upper stages, space junk, rocks, artificial satellites, natural satellites. That's why there's so many craters on it. It just gets bombarded, right? So, like, once again, I'm not running PR cover for SpaceX, but honestly, this happens all the time, and that's what I mean about it being very strange, that this is the thing that everybody picked up, like, oh my God, they're gonna crash into the Moon, we're all gonna die. It's like, no. This, failed landers? Yeah, exactly. This happens all the time, man. It ain't no thing.
How many things have crashed into the Moon? Like, Jesus. Seriously. Even man-made stuff.
It happens.
How many things have crashed into the Moon? The only reason SpaceX put that post out is because people wouldn't shut up about it. That's the only reason. If people didn't care, they wouldn't have put that post in. Why should anyone care about that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pointless.
It's a smear campaign
No.
from the Moonanites, obviously. Who wrote?
Yeah, from the thrust bags, right?
Oh, he's asking you to do it too, huh?
Yep, he did. He asked you to do it too. I did it just to see what would happen.
Max is sending Ryan and I messages to say things on stream.
I'm curious to see Max's reaction. That's why I did it. I'm just curious. Not that it means anything.
Who wrote the moon rules #1 on my upper stage? Just say Apple. Just say Apple. APPLE. Just say Apple.
Max must be bored then, you know. Well, there's not as many cape launches anymore, so Max gets bored.
That's gonna change soon. I always heard that it was a Mars-sized object hitting Earth and creating 2 moons, one slightly smaller. It's possible, Seakraken. I don't think we know the exact reason, but yeah, there was some boogaloo that went down like a little while ago.
And apparently Max is crying, apparently. I don't know.
Okay. Next.
Max is being weird.
Yep.
But, you know, it's normal for Max, so, you know.
It might be because he's been in Florida for too long.
That is true. It's a weird place to live.
I know. I lived there for a while, so I know I can understand this.
The heat and humidity must be getting to him. You know.
Dude, with that being said, it is like 90 degrees out, 90% humidity here in Boston. So we just got Florida weather here too. So that's good.
79 degrees Fahrenheit with 32% humidity here in Minneapolis right now.
You Minneapolis suck. All right. Boom.
Discovery.
All right.
Go at throttle up.
Yeah, see, 91-month reset from Grim suck. That's right. You know what? Frick you and your low humidity. Listen, EJ, we had some hell weather before too. Yeah, I know. Weather and you guys don't really see eye to eye up there, huh?
Frick Ryan and his low humidity. Thank you. I love it. There are high humidity days here. There's just not nearly as many as like Florida and other places.
Flirter. All right, so Tori Bruno posted this. I thought you guys might enjoy this infographic on Blue Ring, the first of an entirely new kind of spacecraft. So Blue Ring, the ultimate quote-unquote F-15 of space. Okay.
What? F-15?
That's what
it's
it says.
Not a fighter jet. I don't understand the analogy there.
Look at the trajectory.
Also, why are you going to NRHO? That's the bad orbit. That's the stupid orbit.
What are you guys up to?
I'm just gonna say this. No, Blue Origin. No, you're not the F-15 of space. Okay, you're not as cool as the Eagle. So shut up. And also shut up because you're using NRHO. So shut up. Just gonna say that. Okay, Blue. Thank you.
Damn, dude.
Don't diss my F-15 like that.
Max tipped $2 because Ryan said thrust bag. Okay. I don't understand. All right. Whatever. So let's see. High mobility, 4 to 8 kilometers a second of delta V, enough to go from Geo to the moon and back. Hybrid propulsion, high thrust afterburner engine with over a metric ton of propellant. Efficient xenon, efficient cruising. Super strong, up to 4 metric tons of payload, up to 13 hosted or deployed payloads. Big, taller and longer than a metro bus. Does it all in orbit. Edge computing, 48.2 gigahertz processors, 24 terabytes of storage, AI and autonomy.
Okay. Is this supposed to be a transfer vehicle? Isn't Blue Ring just a transfer vehicle, basically?
Blue Ring is basically anything. It's anything you want. It's just basically a stat bus that can do whatever.
Cool. Okay. I mean,
what is this for? Like, I mean,
well, that's the other thing.
I know the reason.
Okay, I guess it's cool. You know, ion engine, you can go to and from, or you can go to there. You know, you can do all that. But like, who's using it?
Yeah, that's what I'm really wondering. What is it for? But I think the clues lie in Tory Bruno's job title on X nowadays.
I love this. Someone in chat goes, "Can it shoot down satellites because the F-15 has?"
It's classified. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. And speaking of that,
it's still probably one of the biggest flexes of the F-15 is that it shot down a satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Not that please, let's not do ASAT launches because all it does is create more debris. But still, it's one of the coolest things that the F-15 has ever done, along with never losing an air-to-air fight. So.
Yeah, all the F-22 has done is shoot balloons.
Yeah. Still should have had the YF-23 instead. It would have been a better plane. It was a better plane.
Dude, part of me thinks that, Air Force top brass chose the F-22 because they think it looks cooler. Think about it. I think that's why they chose the F-35 as well, because the X-32 is, well...
Well, I will give them that on what looks better. The Boeing version of the Joint Strike Fighter is that. Like Boeing has made aesthetically pleasing airplanes in the past. That is definitely not one of them.
That that exists.
I
Mustang.
I just wish the Joint Strike Fighter had two engines. And there were different variants. There was a single engine variant for the Marines. If the Marines so badly want their vertical takeoff and landing, then they can have it. But like otherwise, it should be a two engine plane. It should have been. It looked cooler. Single engine on that thing doesn't look right. The only single engine plane that looks good for jet fighters is the F-16.
Yep.
Or the F-86 Sabre, really.
Yeah. I like that. They are restoring the X-32. The Museum of the Air Force is restoring the X-32. Yeah, check it out, dudes. I forgot about that. They did restore it. From the top, that plane doesn't look too bad. It's just bruh.
No, it looks wrong from all angles. Let's be honest here.
Not a fan of Ryan's not a fan of the A7. Ryan, you like the A7? I like the A7.
The A7?
The Corsair 2? That's a cool plane, man.
Okay, the Corsair 2, there's a difference there because it was made by Vought. Vaught's better than Boeing, let's be honest here, too. So,
I mean, okay.
The A6 and A7s were really nice.
If we're gonna
light attack aircraft.
If we're gonna talk about an underrated single engine plane from the Vietnam era, here's what I'm going with. Let's see, chat. Let's see if you guys know what I'm talking about here. Boom. Anyone? It's an F-105, man. How many bombs you want to carry? Yeah, all of them. The Thud.
The
Yep.
Thunder Chief.
Yeah, dude. What a monster. Dude,
That was like our first foray into a jet fighter bomber.
Yep.
Basically.
It's a plane. How did you know all of it? Oh, bro, they said you were good.
Yeah. And like literally that is like our first foray into that. Because that was introduced in 1958, shortly after the Korean War. Right around the end of it, and most of the Korean War we were running we were still running Corsairs and F-86 Sabres for most of that war.
So the F-105 can like carry as much payload as like a B-17, just for what it's worth. Like, it is an absolute monster. And it has a single engine. It's just a big single engine. She's got a big old engine in the back.
Here, how much power, how much thrust could that engine do again?
Looking it up. I mean, to take off with the ordnance that it had, dude.
Pratt Whitney J75 P19W afterburning turbojet with 14,000 pounds of thrust. 26. That single engine had more thrust than the RL10 with afterburning and water injection.
Yep. 117 kilonewton. That's a lot. That's a lot of power. 117 out of a jet engine is pretty good, man. That's pretty good, dude. That's all I'm saying. No wonder it could carry that much. Like, that's a lot of power.
Let's see here. The F-15EX has a pair of F-110 GE afterburning turbofans. Each of those is with afterburner is 29,000 pounds of power. The EX version of the.
Jeez.
It's a little bit more powerful.
EX is a monster.
They took the F-15 Strike Eagle, the E, and they went, let's just modernize everything. Boeing made it all fly-by-wire. They upgraded the avionics. They put better engines in it.
It's basically an F-22 wearing an F-15 skin suit. Like, let's be real.
It just doesn't have the stealth of a 22.
Yeah.
Is the only thing it doesn't do. Doesn't have.
Sonny or Chris with a $5 super chat. The F-22 only shot down balloons because everybody is scared crapless of it. You know what, dude? You ain't wrong. Like, that's not. I wouldn't screw with an F-15EX. Let me put it that way. Like, the F-15EX will mess your day up.
The F-15EX has 25 hard points. Up to 25 hard points.
Yeah, because
so that thing could
carry,
you could carry a loadout between AIM-9Xs and AIM-120 AMRAAMs. You carry like 24 to 25 air-to-air missiles. So the whole plan with the EX, if we ever got into a large air-to-air shooting war with either China or Russia, was that you could fly with wingmen like that, or what you could do is you have the F-35 and the F-22 out in front of the EX using their radars and their electronic warfare to detect fighters ahead of you, and then they relay that information back to the EX and use its ridiculous amount of air-to-air missiles to shoot them all down. So you will never, ever see the F-35 or the F-22, and the F-15 is so far back that you can't really see it either. It just locks onto you with an AMRAAM through the F-35 and blows you out of the sky. Be like, goodbye.
And then if you got some of those bad boys on the screen running screen for you, if you guys are familiar, if you guys ever played StarCraft, you guys know Protoss carrier. Have fun.
Carrier has arrived.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Have you ever played Ace Combat?
Yeah. Have I ever played Ace Combat?
So the Arsenal bird, then. That's what we're going
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back into space news. We got some updates here from Rocket Lab. Let's see what's good. So Rocket Lab, the grain goddess provides, and so do the launch gods. We've got a new date for our next Electron mission with IQPS, or with QPS Incorporated. Launch window is 5 a.m. Eastern. Oh, that's, yeah, okay. Next Rocket Lab news. All right. Rocket Lab has been awarded a $397 million contract from the Space Force to build multiple advanced flatellite spacecraft for the SBAMTI program.
The
Please hold.
space-based system to detect and track airborne threats in real time. So flat pack SATs.
Space-based
I love how they
airborne
call it
moving target.
flatellite, but
Yeah.
it's the flat pack SATs, and you know, if the Air Force is looking at those, just imagine at what kind of satellites the Air Force and Space Force could make to fit in Starship's PEZ. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what SpaceX is basically told that to people is they're not really making a customer version of Starship anytime soon, and if you want to launch on Starship, you need flat pack SATs. Is what they basically told people these days, until they get a full cargo door. So we're going to see more and more people develop flat pack satellites to work with the PEZ. Like that. Although I'm kind of curious how many you'd be able to launch out of a Starship. Probably a stupendous amount.
I mean, yeah. You know what? You know what's crazy? It's like when the shuttle started flying, there was a whole generation of satellites that were designed to be, and dispensers and payload attachment fittings that were designed to fit in the shuttle's payload bay. So it's interesting that history is not repeating, but it's rhyming. Yeah, Bonks, I love F4 Phantoms. F4s are they're my favorite. It's not even close. Where's my model F4 there? I have it sitting on Artemis 1 spray-on foam insulation. I love F4s. I get it. It's not the best fighter. Dogfighting's you probably shouldn't. But look at this plane. Look at how cool that plane looks.
The cons of the fabulous Phantom is what drove the development of the Eagle.
Yep, that's correct. The F-15 is basically a better version in every way of this. But
they
also,
basically went, we can't dogfight with this thing, and it ain't fast enough.
Oh, it's fast enough. It can't turn.
Well, it ain't fast enough to turn very, and it doesn't have the speed plus the maneuverability. I mean, that's what I was trying to say. So we went and made the F-15C, or the A, B, and C, and then the C became the air superiority fighter, and the E became, of course, the more ground attack version, the Strike Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, yeah, the Phantom went by the wayside. And then, of course, to actually replace the Navy version of the Phantom, then came the F-18 Hornet, which is still one of the greatest carrier aircraft to ever be designed.
It's funny because they stole it from Northrop, but you know.
Well, it was the YF-17. Yeah.
They stole it from Northrop. McDonnell Douglas was just like, "Hey, that's a great design. How about we make it?" And Northrop's like, "How about no?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that." And sorry, bye. Seriously, go look it up. They stole the design. They stole the design. They're just like, "I'm gonna make it."
What was funny is because it was the YF-16 and the YF-17 were competing for the F-16's job, and the F-16 won out on that one from General Dynamics. So the YF-17 from Northrop kind of went by the wayside, but it was still a great airframe. And then it was stolen and used as the Navy's next generation fighter. And
that's correct.
Fighter attack aircraft, and well, it's amazing. So.
Yeah, right. F-18A and the F-18EF are two different. They're not even the same plane. The Super Hornet is bigger.
Hornet bigger. Completely different.
Bigger, yep. Yeah.
Oh, the F-18 has gone through a lot of changes over the years.
Mm-hmm.
The Navy couldn't get a new fighter until they got the F-35C, Fat Amy. So
yeah, I think the Phantom just ruins everybody on looks, man. This is like, and I know aesthetics aren't the end all be all of aerodynamics, but this is one of the coolest looking freaking planes of all time. That and in my younger, more formative years, I remember playing BFV, and I would mess people up with this thing. I would mess people up with the F4.
Hellfish. I hope Grumman I do hope Northrop gets the F&A XX contract because I want the Hellcat 2. Just bring it. Just do it. Do it. Hellcat 2.
Let's go. All right.
6th generation fighter attack aircraft. I know the Hellcat was more of an air superiority fighter, but come on. Hellcat 2. Let's go.
Redbeard.
Or you Tomcat 2. Make a Tomcat 2. That's fine with me too.
Yeah, I mean, Swing Wings.
I won't complain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that one. Redbeard, we should completely dismantle Mercury to create a Dyson swarm. Dude, I wouldn't do that. You're gonna screw up the orbital mechanics of the entire solar system. That's not a good idea.
Also, how?
I mean, with an excavator, how else?
That's gonna take a while.
Make a bigger excavator.
So we need to make a CAS class Harrier with an excavator beam, is what you're saying.
Yes. Also, Drew, $2 Canadian. What's up, dude? IKEA Moonbase? Oh, I'm getting to that. Don't worry. Yeah, flat pack the moon base in Starship. Sorry, it took me a second. I mean, I can't be the only one here that wants Starship to eventually have shuttle-style payload bay doors that open up like this. Right, not like this.
I think it'll get those. That's the most logical design because it's better structurally than a hippo door.
I agree.
You get more you can add more hinges to it, and it's better structurally for the whole thing. So I think they'll go that way.
Think of a Navy version of the A-10. Dude, I'm not sure
that
they
is basically the Helldiver. Like, yeah, it's basically the Helldiver or the A6 Intruder, the A6.
A6, underrated. Hey, Zonku, 96-month resub.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Just keep slamming Falcon's second stages into it. It'll break apart eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. The moon is made of cheese.
You know, you're talking about the Navy getting A-10s. I'm not sure if a bunch of Marines with A-10s would be a good idea. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, that might, that, in the right context, that's actually a really good idea. Now that I'm thinking about it, we should do that.
I mean, like,
am I right, Devil Dogs?
The Marines pioneered carrier close air support. Like they did. If you on like Bougainville, on Bougainville Island, when they were fighting, when they were taking, they had the airfield to attack Rabaul, they were calling in Helldivers and Hellcats to use to have quick air support, whether it be bombs or strafing runs with 50 cals. They were using forward supporting radio to do it. So the Marines kind of pioneered that. Yeah.
And nobody gives the Marines new toys anyway, so the A-10s are old.
That
so
is true.
It's perfect.
That is 100%
it's honestly perfect.
Yeah. During Desert Storm, everyone is using Abrams while they're still using M60s.
And I will say that the M60 is not a bad tank either.
It's not a bad tank, no.
No, it's a great
not
design.
An Abrams.
Yeah, that's right. Put the Marines in charge of a CVE full of A-10s. That dude, I would not want to get near that. That would just be, it would either be the best party ever, or people would get ruined, like badly. All right. Next bit of news here. So this is coming from Eric Berger. Who we interviewed on Flame Trench last week. It was a very brief thing, but we talked to him about tiles and stuff. It was good times. Okay, visited Stoke Space in Washington today. Saw flight articles for the first stage, upper stage engine and heat shield, first stage engines, and more. Nova launch appears unlikely before the first half of 2027, but they are making impressive strides.
Got their pad.
Their pad is finished.
They just gotta probably get all their flight articles put together, test all of it, probably stack it on the pad, do a hot fire on the pad and a wet dress rehearsal, preferably separated.
Why you say that?
I don't know.
So,
but
yeah, no reason.
Yeah, I expect them to do that, and that could easily take up the next 4 months. Easy.
I mean, Stoke is really
They're gonna take their time.
Yeah, exactly. They're taking their time. I mean, so guys, if you don't know, like, Stoke has the Nova rocket, and Nova is it ain't your daddy's medium-duty launch vehicle. This is just a render off of Stoke's website here, but so it is a fully reusable medium-duty rocket. So we're not talking like Antares here. It's somewhere between like Antares and Soyuz, somewhere around there. Medium-duty launch vehicle. It's not the biggest vehicle around. It's not it can't carry the most amount of payload. However, the first and second stage are reusable, right?
That's the biggest thing. It's fully reusable right off the rip.
Yeah. Their second stage.
Once they start recovering things, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they'll get it back. I am very confident that this will work correctly. So Stoke's second stage, if you guys look, it's capsule shaped. Big hint there. Capsule shaped second stage. The capsule shaped second stage has what's called the Andromeda engine on it. And the Andromeda engine is it is a very unorthodox looking motor, because it looks like it has a bunch of small rocket engines in it, but this is one power pack feeding a bunch of small combustion chambers and nozzles, right? The one power pack is in the center. And how this works is the power pack pumps the fuel through the heat shield. And then the propellants get staged and go to the nozzles, right? So think about how like a Soyuz engine, for instance, has one power pack, 4 nozzles, and 2 vernier engines, right? Or if it's the RD-107, 4 nozzles, or RD-108, 4 nozzles, 4 verniers, right? This thing has one power pack, and it moves the propellants through a heat shield-shaped cooling device. Now that right there is how they're going to re-enter. The Andromeda engine is part heat shield. Yeah, it's part heat shield. So when the second stage, which is capsule shaped, comes back down, right? They'll just run the engines. And you'll run cold propellants through the heat shield and you'll exchange the heat.
It's expander cycle, part aerospike.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It looks weirdly like Delta Clipper. I'd say more SERV, Chrysler SERV than anything. But Stoke also has a fully reusable fairing. They have a fairing that opens up and closes, like the Hungry Hippo fairing, right? And then here's the kicker. This thing comes down and it lands. Now, I know that sounds like, oh, whoa, it lands, man. That's great. How are you going to land with that? No thrust vector control. How do you do that? They're able to modulate the thrust between these nozzles. They can modulate it. So instead of a gimbal, they work with differential thrust over the nozzles to make this thing basically target
N1.
Landing
it's
site.
Literally N1.
Yeah, yes, that's the idea, but they can use it to hop. Now, I know what you're saying. I know what you guys are saying. Like, that, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way that's going to work. There's no way that's going to work at all. Dude, they already did it. The hopper tests were a couple of years ago. Watch this. Check it out. No gimbal. No thrust vector control. Thrust modulation. Watch this.
It's so weird.
Dude. That thing went up, translated left to right, and then came back down with no vectorable nozzle. Okay? They modulate the thrust around the outsides of the Andromeda engine, and it can just whoop, whoop. So the thing will propulsively land. It'll propulsively land, and it'll come down, and it'll hone in on a target like New Shepard. Like, all right, cool. Is that a full-scale test article? Yes. It's not a big rocket, guys, but Stoke is working on a fully reusable architecture. So, yeah, they're taking their time, but Nova is going to be a freaking treat to see fly. That's going to be pretty damn cool. Okay. Anyway, here, we got the next bit of news here. It also does hot staging. Yes, that's right. It does do hot staging.
It's a mini Starship in some ways.
Yeah, right. Okay, next bit of news here. HughesNet. HughesNet went out of business. They filed for bankruptcy a little bit earlier this month, or last month. This is a thing coming from Sawyer Merritt, who is a tech EV space pundit on X here. Sawyer Merritt does pretty good reporting here. Check this out. The HughesNet CEO in 2020 on SpaceX's Starlink. The economics are not going to be a big advantage for Starlink. In fact, it's going to make our offerings much more attractive. And they just went out of business because Starlink took all their customers. How do they control roll? Vernier thrusters that were not on that test article, Sea Kraken, but soon. Did the DCX use thrust vectoring? Yes, it did, Conan. It used RL10A5s. Yeah, and vectorable RL10A5s. Yeah. Oops. Yep, HughesNet went belly up. HughesNet was an internet satellite service, and they, let's just say they had a monopoly on internet satellite constellations for a little while, and let's just say they knew that they had a monopoly on internet satellite service for a little while, so they, even when Starlink started launching, they just kind of stuck to their guns, and that didn't work. It worked for a little while. Yeah, that's the story. Jake break. Oh, I love that noise. Come on, one more time. Jake breaks. It sounded like a Detroit if I had to guess. What do you think? What say you, chat? Who knows their diesels? It sounded like a Detroit to me. Oh, nice. So real talk, what happens to those satellites? No company would buy them due to the obvious competition issues unless they wanted a private network. They'll probably sell it. Someone will buy it. Oh, you're waking up the whole neighborhood. What do you mean waking up the whole neighborhood? It's 6 o'clock there. Why don't cars use Jake brakes? Gasoline engines don't like doing that. Yeah. Why don't cars use that? Because cars use gasoline. The BlackBerry is satellite internet. RIP. It's a Detroit or a Cummins. It sounded Detroit to me, but it sounded like two-stroke Detroit if I had to guess. But you know, I don't know diesel's the best, but cars use a gas. It sounds like because diesel cars don't use petrol. Petroleum is a petroleum. Petroleum's a gas too, dickhole. I mean, hi.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Sorry. Anyway, Ryan, I know you're gonna love this next bit. This next segment is going to be your absolute favorite, and you'll totally not go unhinged when I show this news on stream.
Uh-oh.
This is coming from Ryan Caton. Ryan is saying that SpaceX has replaced their mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles, MRAPs, with Cybertrucks for emergency crew egress at Slick 40.
Okay, I understand replacing the MRAPs. MRAP, you know, they're getting old. There's a lot of parts in them. They're harder to maintain. They're a little slower. Also, when a rocket explodes, I mean, they're mine resistant, not really rocket resistant, but they'll definitely give protection towards explosions and whatnot. But why a Cybertruck? Why? Out of all the cars, all the trucks, everything you could have chosen, why a Cybertruck?
You know, I'm not gonna Ryan, there's a YouTube channel called Whistling Diesel. And Whistling Diesel, I don't know if you saw his Cybertruck test. The truck is actually pretty, structurally, it's pretty tough. It is a pretty tough vehicle. The problem is it has a bunch of untough electrical things attached to it. And if one of those break, the truck bricks itself.
That's the same for every single Tesla car. And I'm sorry, but if you're relatively close to an explosion, like a really large one, like maybe if a Starship goes off, I don't know. I don't know if a Cybertruck can handle that shock wave.
Yes.
We don't even know what that would be.
That's
The MRAP would just take it and go, ha, that tickles.
yeah, the MRAC would just be like, is it a stiff breeze? I mean,
thing is, the MRAP is made to go over an anti-tank mine and tank it. Literally. That's what it's designed to do. The Cybertruck would be blown into a billion little pieces if it did such a thing.
So MRAPs, guys, if you look at them, they're very they have a very specific design that basically here. I'm trying to find a good picture of one here.
I think it would be cooler if they just modified some M1 A2 chassis.
All right,
and went that route.
Here's a Marine Corps MRAP. So, okay, it looks like just a truck, right? But the reality here is that the MRAP, the chassis of the vehicle is V-shaped, all right? You can see the V-ing right here. See that? Now, this right here is just a cargo box, right? And that cargo box is riveted to the rest of it. But the entire chassis, so the drivetrain is inside of that V, and obviously the people are inside of that V as well. With the MRAP, if it hits a mine, right? If the wheel hits a mine, it'll blow the wheel off, right? Which sucks. But because the chassis is V-shaped, it'll blow the explosion out to the sides instead of up under the vehicle. The explosive energy gets directed outward. So basically, it's an upside-down flame diverter that's built into the chassis of a truck. So you hit a mine, it blows out to the side instead of blowing up into the vehicle and killing people, right? We don't want that, especially for our devil dogs,
too,
right? So that's the whole idea behind these MRAPs. Like, they're designed to basically take a hit from underneath, and to the sides too. There are certain versions that are armored. It really depends on, it depends on the design, but that's a better kind of side view of what I'm talking about. That's a Caspier. That's South African, but that's the same idea. Like, if you look, if one blows up underneath it, that's the Cougar. So that's the US's one. The explosion blows out to the sides and not up. This came from the global war on terror, right? Where we sent out guys in up-armored, Humvees at first, which bottom of a Hummer is flat so it can go over terrain better, right? And then up-armored Humvees, which
are slower,
exist.
So we built the MRAP.
And the problem is, still the bottom's still flat, even on the up-armored Humvee. The problem is when a mine hits it, it blows up, blows the front of the vehicle off, and flips over upside down and then catches on fire. Obviously not a good time, right? This thing just kind of runs over the stuff and it just keeps going. The NASA one is the Cayman. Yeah. Also, up-armored Humvees are piles of trash, for what it's worth.
They're the same thing as a Cybertruck.
And same. I haven't, based off of what I just read in the comment section, that thing isn't much better. Interesting. That just looks like an LMTV with a front on it. Better engine in the armored ones. Yeah. 12 Bravo. I mean, up-armoreds aren't the worst idea, but I don't think I've talked to a single person in the Army or the Marine Corps that likes that thing. I don't know. Feel free to chime in. Insult the gun trucks? I am just telling I'm just speaking from what I've heard from people that have been inside of up armored Humvees in the suck, and they say that they suck. They're pieces of junk. I was on, yeah, they were kind of
Now,
crap. Well, there
what
you
you
go.
could go do is you could take your Cybertruck and harden it and put some steel plating on it, a tri-motor Cybertruck. You're going to lose a lot of range, but you could go ahead and up armor it like an up armored Humvee for fun. You know, stick some ERA on the sides, maybe chubble armor. You know.
Yeah, ERA. I don't think a Cybertruck with ERA on the sides is going to make it any safer for emergency crew egress. But you know, it's fine.
We'll put some composite armor on the side. Why not? Again, this is why I said take two M1A2 chassis, take the turret out, and just turn it into a thing you can just drive around the Cape.
Bro,
why not?
M113s. M113s. It's the best.
Okay.
It's the best armored personnel carrier ever devised. And we were like, no, let's not make this anymore. M113s. That's all you got to know. NASA used them with the shuttle program for years because they're amazing. Okay? M113s are the best. They are amphibious. They go over anything. They can carry a lot of people. And, you know, if a rocket blows up next to it, it's not going to care. M113s, okay? M113s are the best.
My question,
Look at
again,
it. Look at how spacious that is. It's great.
Why a Cybertruck? Out of everything.
I don't know.
Out of everything.
I'm just saying M113s. Dude, look.
I think the only reason why is because they have such a stockpile of the garbage vehicle that they're trying to get rid of them. I also think that's why SpaceX got a ton of Cybertrucks, is because they weren't selling them, and they basically gave them to SpaceX because they are all both owned by Elon. That's my guess as to how SpaceX got so many Cybertrucks, is because they're such a piece of garbage that no one buys them, and that's what happened to their stockpile.
I don't know about you, homie. I see Cybertrucks around everywhere. In Massachusetts, they're all over the place. In fact, there's Teslas all over the place. Just period, full stop.
I mean, I see Teslas all over the place. I do see a Cybertruck every once in a while. I mean, and every time I see it on the road, I go, ugh!
You ever seen that Family Guy sketch where Peter Griffin goes, "Oh boy, a fudgicle"? He eats it and then his head explodes.
Yeah.
Every time I see a Cybertruck, I go, "Oh boy, a Cybertruck." I actually like them for what it's worth, to be 100% honest with you. I think Cybertrucks are pretty cool. Actually, you know what, Ryan? Let me show you this. I have to, guys, real quick. I have Ryan here with me. I did a render of a Cybertruck of what I thought it should look like right when the Cybertruck came out. And Sean, who doesn't work for NSF anymore, took this picture. And I did some work in MS Paint, okay? And let me just tell you, what do you think? What do you think? You know, even if you don't have the lag on top, doesn't that look nicer?
It needs to be open in the middle. No doors. You gotta be able to hop in and out of it, and it's got to be hydrogen powered. Remember,
I mean,
hydrogen powered.
Electric. You're halfway there. It's fine. You know, but okay. Even if you took the gun off the back, doesn't
the
that
M12 LRV?
I'd call it the Warthog.
Looks more like a Puma. Wasn't Sam Hell's a Puma?
Didn't I tell you to stop making up imaginary vehicles?
Didn't I tell you to stop making up animals? It's a big cat.
What do you see these toe hooks? They look like tusks.
Why does this have 6 pedals, but there's only 4 directions?
No, I think that what makes the Cybertruck look weird is the weird angle on the top of the roof. So if you flatten the top and, you know, didn't make that edge go, it's like if you flatten the top, right, and you had the trailing edge right here, it would look strange. If you flatten the top and gave it kind of a more conventional pickup bed, you know, obviously minus the lag, right? If you just kind of put your hand over that part, I think that looks way nicer. That's a way nicer profile line. Just
Man.
What do I know? I went to design school. I have no idea.
Old Starbase. Now I'm looking at the rings in the back.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and the freaking stop sign. Like, yeah, old school. Right? Like, you could even probably get away with changing the profile line on the front and then kind of making the hood more flat in this shape. So, like, if the diagonal went from about here up, it would look really nice. But yeah, If
you got to put a tow hook on front too. You got to do that with a winch. That's got to go on front. It's a quintessential part of the Warthog. So
mount a Mark 19 Mod 3 to the back. Okay. Next bit of news. All right. So this one's coming from Intuitive Machines. Whoa, I actually didn't see this. We've completed the acquisition of Goonhilly and ComSat, expanding our space network for communications, data transport, and PNT in support of Moonbase. This network will support our Intuitive Machines 3 and Altus 1 missions, along with the growing mission cadence of civil national security and commercial customers. Intuitive Machines bought Goonhilly. That's a tracking station in southwest England.
Interesting.
All right.
What? What?
No.
What?
Don't
what
worry.
in Sam Hill?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's fine. Next bit of news. I sent you this news weeks ago. Yeah, and I'm reporting it now.
Deal with it. What?
Deal with it. You have this. I don't know. Maybe. Artemis 3 is taking shape. From the Orion spacecraft coming together to key SLS hardware reaching important milestones, the past month has brought major progress across the board for the next Artemis mission. Oh, yeah.
You know what? It's still funny. And remember all the times we talked about how SLS would likely could be the long lead item? For Artemis 3, it's going to be the landers. SLS is going to be ready to go. It's just going to be sitting there stacked and ready, waiting on SpaceX and Blue.
Imagine if NASA was making a lander right now. That'd be
right.
That'd be really neat.
You know, like even a small lander just to bridge the gap. Again,
a hypergol. Just make a LEM.
Like,
just freaking make a LEM. I don't care.
Make the LEM again. Like just to bridge the gap. I mean, SLS should be able to launch a small enough LEM, right? Should have enough power to do that.
It's the upper stage at that point, dude. Orion's service module won't be able to put a lander into low lunar, right?
Is the requirements because that that service module is so dinky as hell.
So here's the thing: you could make up for that.
Bring back the SPS.
I mean, you're not gonna get an argument from me, brother. Let me tell you that. You ain't gonna get no argument from me. We should just go over to Airbus and Bremen and be like, yo, make this 2 times as big. And what are they going to be like? Nah, 9, we do not want to do that. They're going to be like, oh, bigger rockets? Yes, we will do that for you very nicely. You're going to pay, right? Yeah, we will. Yeah. Okay, yes, we will make that. Wunderbar. You know, that's probably how that conversation would go. But also, if you're going to do it, I'd just make a bigger hypergol lander. That's all. Just make a bigger hypergol lander, have the hypergol do your LLO circularization.
Literally, just do a bigger LEM, and the LEM can help do the burn. Yeah.
Just like, what was the name of that thing that we had planned like 15 years ago?
Oh, we had a lot of plans 15 years ago. Which
that
one?
Involved doing this exact thing with a lander. You know, that does
departure stage.
You know, just make the lander big enough to do the insertion and then let. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like that was a good idea or something. You blame the RS-68, and you know what? You know what, deranged?
The LSAM.
You know what, dude? Yeah, the LSAT. That's right. Matt, what's going on? You know what? I used to like the RS68, and then I actually went and read about its stats. That motor sucks. Yeah, that's a steaming pile of dog crap. It's a terrible engine, objectively. Like,
It is
sorry.
that, and the only way to make that you could have gotten more out of that engine if you get rid of that stupid ablative nozzle.
Bro, yeah, it's 7 tons, dude. It's a 7-ton motor. Dude, it's 7 tons.
Because you gotta ablate the whole nozzle away during flight.
Yeah, the nozzle's made out of heat shield, exactly. Dude, Bluefist, my Ernox 87 F350 quad cab dually long box weighs less than an RS68. Believe that. Like, think about that for a second. That's a 5-ton vehicle. Actually, about 4.5.
It is truly nuts because the RS68. I'll stand by here. I have it saved. The RS68 engine
6,800 kilos, dude, for 3,000.
Can do 31. It can do 3,100 kilonewtons. Its thrust to weight ratio is 47.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
The RS25 is 69-1. Nice. But Raptor, on the other hand, what is it?
130. It's 130-1 or something absurd.
Where's that SpaceX tweet again? Stand by. I forget the exact weight of R3 again. It's been
Raptor 3 is 1,500 kilos, dude.
It's a 1,500, right? 1,500 kilos, and it's running. And they're currently running at 250 kilonewtons right now.
2,500.
2,500. Yeah, that's right.
750,000 pounds.
Yeah. So, yeah,
dude,
it's only gonna get more powerful too.
Guys, dare I say it? If we, I always like, I always used to say like, put RS68s on SLS because throwing away shuttle engines is stupid. If you put 5 RS68s on SLS, it would be worse. I'm not even kidding. Yes, you'd make more thrust. Your efficiency is not as good, and your dry mass goes through the roof because, like I said, the Bluefist truck that we did the road trip in, the 87 F350, that's a 10,000 pound vehicle. All right, an RS68 weighs more than that freaking truck, which is stupid. It's stupid. Who designed this and was like, "Yep, that's good. That'll work. It'll be low cost." Like, no, bad. Don't do that again. And I mean, they didn't, but don't do that again. Okay. RS25s are goated. They're still a good engine, even by modern standards. They are actually comparable to Raptor, which shows you how good of a design it is. Not only are RS68s heavier than RS25s, they are double the mass. They weigh twice as much.
It's a stupid nozzle. Most of it's in the nozzle, though, because it's an ablative nozzle.
Yeah, they made the nozzle out of heat shield.
They went the cheap way. If they went for a regen nozzle, they probably cut the mass in half.
I agree.
Basically, I'm imagining the core stage with Raptors on it.
Oh, we did that math out the other day on a Space News, dude. SLS, provided you can't screw with the tank design and you could swap out methalox or hydrolox to methalox. If you put 6 vacuum Raptors in the core stage, you're throwing somewhere like 200 tons into Leo. Easily.
6 RVACs.
Yeah. Six vacuum Raptors. Yeah, which you could put down there. Like, heck, you could do 4. 4 would probably get you...
The only problem is in order to use that at sea level, they would have to do the stiffener rings. You'd have to add mass to do the stiffener rings to all the nozzles. So you'd have to create a skirt and then attach stiffener rings to all the nozzles to fire them at sea level. Otherwise, the nozzles will blow themselves to pieces.
You could get away with 6 sea levels as well. Yeah, 6 sea levels would probably net you like 170, 160, 170 tons to Leo. Easily. Like, easily.
What if you did like 4 sea levels in the center and 4 RVACs on the outer corners, and then you airlight the RVACs part way up?
Dude, I mean, yeah, you're basically putting like Starship's engine section at the bottom of the SLS core stage, which I'm not gonna say that that's a bad idea. That's all I'm saying.
Or you do the 3 centers to start, because even 3 center Raptors is significantly more thrust than 4 RS-25s.
Yeah. Well,
and
dude,
then you do a ring of 9 RVACs,
bro,
and you airlight them after the SRBs separate.
Dude, yeah, that would, provided the stack could take that type of thrust coming out the back. Yeah, it would be over 200 tons, easy. It would make Ares 5 look like a pile of junk.
We might be onto something here.
I'm just saying, it's a good idea. I'm just saying. Just saying, we should do that. RVAC in the middle with sea levels on the outside. Dude, like, you could do some serious work, man. Yeah, provided you could swap the core stage tanks work.
It's insanity how good Raptor is as an engine. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It is utterly nuts what SpaceX has been able to get out of that engine. And they're not done yet.
No. I mean, 300 bar chamber pressure, 2,800 kilonewtons of thrust. Yeah, I actually had it backwards. Ooh, Mustang. I actually said it was 134.
They're 250 right now. They're trying to get up to 280. I don't know when they'll hit it.
It's 163 TWR. I said 134. I got my numbers backwards. It's 163 to 1. It weighs 1,500 kilos, guys. So, okay, a little bit. Once again, we'll use cars as a reference. Bluefist, the 87 F350, weighs less than 1 RS-68. For 1 RS-68, right, you could have 5 Raptor engines and make 5 times, well, not 5 times, you could make about 2.5 times the amount of thrust. That's the mass differential we're talking about here, right? So 5 Raptor engines, 187 F350,
and in a smaller package too,
or 1 RS-68. Take your pick for your propulsion system. All right.
I'm going to choose Raptor on that one.
I mean, the 87 F350 would be pretty good. It's got a 460 in it. It can tow a lot. It could, for what it's worth, it could tow all of these engines on a trailer, like all of them. You could do the 5 Raptors and the single RS-68. It could tow it. Just for what it's worth. I mean, it's a nice truck. But anyway. Yeah, SLS is definitely not going to be the long lead item. And Ryan, I'll be 100% honest with you. SLS just needs a better upper stage. I'm fine with using RS-25Es. That's fine. As long as you open up the production line and start making them and start making a lot of them, I'm kind of cool with it.
Again, stick a GS2 on it. I mean, Centaur 5 will work really nicely. It's a good stage, as much as I hate the RL-10. I mean, I hate the RL-10 because we can come up with something better, right? More thrust and still keep the same, or around the same specific impulse. Oh, that's right. It's the BE3U is pretty damn close.
All I'm saying is that it would look really nice. All I'm saying.
And keep the leaf too.
All I'm saying is that looks pretty good, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will always make this comparison, and it's always funny because one's a rocket engine, the other one's a turbofan. The 737 engine, the CFM 56-7B, has a higher max thrust than the RL-10. And it's got a better specific impulse, too, but that's because it's a air turbine engine. But that's besides the point. Those specific impulses are in the thousands, but that doesn't really count.
Dude, that's all I'm saying is that, SLS looks really good with a GS2 stacked on top. and a 9x4
does.
fairing. That could the
Just stick the top part of the 9x4 on an SLS.
Yep. Could the 4-engine variant of GS2 work on SLS? Sure. Why not? Yeah. Easy peasy. I'd be a little worried with the 9x4 upper stage. That's a 7x2 upper stage with a 9x4 fairing on it. And that's a New Glenn 7x2 fairing. I'll say it once, I'll say it again, and I'm just going to say it because I'm shouting it into the void because I think it needs to happen. That should be your B1S SLS. Your standardized version of SLS should be that, not Centaur. Okay? It should be that. If you're going to make the argument that Centaur 5 is in production and that's why it should be on top of SLS, you can make the exact same argument for GS2. That's all I'm saying.
It's got better engines on it. It's a better stage.
Bring back Delta 4 with Raptors? Delta 4 with Raptors would be like Falcon Heavy on steroids. I'm kind of here for it, man. Okay, so we all agree that we can't get rid of SLS in favor of commercial, but what we can do is Frankenstein commercial components onto SLS. As long as NASA's operating them, Shaw, I'm fine with it. Hey, Michael, what's going on, dude? How am I doing? I'm doing just fine. I got Ryan with me, and we're talking about rocket architectures. Do they both have the same structural issue? No, they do not. GS2, well, here, let me show you.
Discovery, go at
GS2 is much more built than the balloon tanks and very, very thin stainless steel tanks of Centaur.
Correct. Yeah, GS2 is using well, actually, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say that it's probably billet aluminum stringers. And if it's not,
pretty sure it's an ISO. I think it's an ISO grid with
yes.
Friction stir welding.
Yes.
Pretty sure is what it is.
So, long story short, here, hold on. So, keep in mind, guys, this is hang on. So this is Vulcan, so it's not exactly Vulcan has a good ULA always posted some really good pictures of how like stir welding gets done. I'm trying to find it. Nope. I had a good picture of it, but it wants us to log in. So check this out. GS2 is either made exactly like this, where they take a sheet of aluminum and they put it on a 3-axis mill, and they mill out the stringers in here. Basically, there's an end mill or a carbide insert that could go in here and just, hollow this area out. It's called subtractive manufacturing, or billet, right? Because it's made out of one billet piece, right? They take these checkerboard things, that's called an ortho grid, like what Ryan was saying, and they put it through a metal brake that bends it into kind of a cylindric shape, and then they put 4 of them together and they weld them together with a stir welder to make a barrel. This grid structure that they mill into it, see that one over there, that's Atlas 5. I know that's Atlas 5 because it's triangles instead of squares. This right here is what GS2 is made out of. If it's not that, it's same thing minus the billet stuff and welded internal stringers. But the billet stuff is really, 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 really nice. That's way stronger than the stainless. But yeah, that's the stuff right there. How difficult would it be to certify Raptor for using hydrogen as fuel? I wouldn't do that, Hampus. You probably should clean sheet a new engine. Well, with that being said, a full flow Hydrolox stage combustion cycle could be useful, but look, Raptor is already leaking a lot with Methalox by design.
Yeah,
hydrogen would probably make explosions.
Well, you wouldn't be able to run it at high pressure. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Anyway.
October Sky. Well, this is called an ISO grid. Atlas V uses billet triangles in an ISO grid. Vulcan, New Glenn, GS1, and I think GS2, but we've never seen it. Uses the rectangles. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Will NASA ever be good at leading space technology again? They're working on it. Cyborg 71 month resub. Thank you. You had one too much, Michael. Bro, it's too. What is it? Wednesday? It happens, man. You got to do what you got to do. Fluffy, but with Raptors, would Delta 4 Heavy light itself on fire? Unlikely, no. Anyway, we're making some good. Oh, that would be very nice. That's all I say. That would be very nice. Can we get a NASA operated Starship in the future? I think that's a good idea. So
They got a pad they can do it out of, it's almost operational, almost.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I never went through and showed the entire talked about the tank farm there. I just realized that. Quickly go over there.
Yes, I'm not sure how we're gonna do this with
the time lag.
Yeah, exactly. We might. I don't know. I'll just here. What I'm going to do, I have to go take a whiz real quick. You annotate the picture. I'll leave it focused on the tank farm. I'll be right back.
All right, I can just start over at the sphere over there. So you got your methane sphere, which they are actually using. And based off the numbers that I got from NASA about how much hydrogen it can hold, well, they give it at 150,000 gallons. That thing can hold 32 cubic meters of stuff. So as Elon said, SpaceX has big balls. I think he said that at one point. Anyways, so that's about 1,360 metric tons of liquid methane that the sphere can hold. Just above the sphere there, you can see two tanks next to each other. Those are liquid nitrogen tanks. Those are a pair of liquid nitrogen tanks that help support the methane side of the tank farm. So those help cool the liquid methane. The three tanks above it, those are the actual other liquid methane, and those alone can hold about 722 metric tons apiece. So those are about 2,160 metric tons total. So between all the methane storage that they have there, they have about 3,500 metric tons of liquid methane, which is about 2.7 stacks worth of liquid methane. And I did that math based off of internal volume data and guessing about kind of giving a guess about what they subcool to. I'm guessing they're subcooling liquid methane all the way down to minus 182 C at 7 bar, which is the flight pressure, which you're talking about 451 kilograms per cubic meter for subcooled liquid methane, and so it comes out to about 2.57 stacks of methane that they've got there. Then you see those all run into the pumps on that side plus the subcoolers. And then we go to the other side. The two longer tanks on the other side those are the liquid nitrogen tanks for the lock side, and then the four big ones there, which this is old. There's actually 6 big ones there now, which are the 6 locks ones. The 6 locks together, those are all 1,700 cubic meter tanks, which they're huge. The ones at Starbase are like 950, 1,000. So those are pretty big.
Wait, what's the difference?
The big tanks there are the liquid oxygen ones. Those are 1,700 cubic meters. The ones next to those, the 2 nitrogen ones, those are 1,000.
And what are the ones at Starbase? The LOX tanks?
The ones at Starbase are about 950. We think they're 950 to 1,000.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
So those are massive tanks. So between the 6 that they have, they have about 12,400 metric tons of liquid oxygen, or about 2.9 stacks worth. And this is Block 3 stacks, by the way, not Block 4. Block 3 stacks. They're going to have 10 full liquid nitrogen tanks at some point, which will be like 4.7 Block 3 stacks worth of liquid oxygen. They have enough to start to use this pad. They are missing, you can tell they're missing some liquid oxygen pumps there. There's some pumps that are missing.
Yeah, right here. So, guys, look, they're playing satisfactory here. This tank farm is expandable. I'd say they could get 8 of them in there. They could get 8 of these LOX
there's
tanks.
spots for, 10. 10 total.
10? Oh my goodness.
They already have 6. So when you look, you see the pads there.
Yeah.
What they do with those little mounts there, they overlap. Actually, so a tank will sit on tanks will sit on half when you go it. So if you count it right, you can fit another 6 on this screen. They already have 2 more that are already plugged in, but they can fit another 4 compared to what they've got now.
Yeah, it's actually more like stationeers, Alex. That's a good point. Yeah, you ain't kidding, dude.
So this is, and then of course there's a ton of vaporizers, gas generation. You see how big the subcoolers that they have there on the LOX side are gigantic. You've seen the pictures of the ones at Starbase, right?
Yeah.
The newer big ones. Those are even bigger, and I mean those are huge.
This tells me that those are the ones of the size at Starbase on the methane side.
Yeah, those are about the same size. The LOX ones are huge, so they're doing something new on the LOX side there. They've got a lot more subcooling capacity. I like, based off of what this tank farm is set up as, because they're using different pumps. So the methane pumps are completely different to what they're using over at Pad 2. And the LOX pumps are kind of what they're using over at Massey's, which is each valve skid that you see there has a pair of pumps. So once it's all said and done, each side will have 8 pumps instead of 4 apiece. But it's also kind of odd because at Starbase they do 5 LOX booster pumps and 4 ship ones. Now it's 4 and 4 for the skids, but it's 8 and 8 because it's 2 smaller pumps. We don't really know exactly what the pumping capacity is for those, but I wouldn't be shocked if they modify things and the countdown gets quicker.
That's what I was just about to say. So, guys, right now, Starship starts its fueling operations about 37 minutes before launch. I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's going to be a lot sooner.
They can load...
Or later, actually, I should say.
They can load the vehicle in just over 34 minutes. I think it is just over 34 or 35 minutes.
Dude.
I would not be surprised. I think it's just over 35. I would not be surprised if they get that down to 30. At some point.
Where's the nitrogen? So, Steven, these long tanks, the hot dog looking tanks right here and right there, that's the nitrogen for both sides, right, Ryan?
So yeah, the nitrogen is split between the sides, which is what they'll do. They'll do that at 37 as well. The subcooling nitrogen for the LOX and the methane will be on their respective sides rather than having a separate setup for them. And Starbase, it's all jumbled together because of just the way that it's built there. They just don't have the room.
And did I hear that? Did I hear that right? They're using the sphere. They're using the spherical tank.
They are definitely. It is hooked in, 100%.
Cool.
They can put just over 1,300 metric tons of liquid methane in that thing because it's 850,000 gallons. So you just convert that to. I converted that to cubic meters and then, figured out the density of CH4 when it's right at 1 bar, which is at atmosphere at minus 162 C, which is 425 kilograms per meter cubed.
Math.
Yeah. And it's a newly designed water deluge. I don't think that's updated in this picture. It might be. Okay, it's not. So in this one, you can see 3, 2, 4. You see where the gas generators are.
Yeah, down at the bottom of this.
So so they're 324 on there. It is now 435. So they've added an extra gas generator for each component, for the ridge, the top deck, and the buckets. So there's more gas generator producing capability and whatnot for 39A pad. They have not added that into pad 2 yet. My guess is that's going to be part of a retrofit it'll get at some point. But yeah, they're a lot farther along than this, obviously, but they're getting there, getting pretty close. They just after finally moving the sticks up and down the tower and moving some stuff, they just replaced one of the chopstick actuators. Of course, you saw it getting taken off.
They're gonna move to electric TBC, right?
Yeah, those are electric now. More controllable.
Mm-hmm.
They can more easily dampen out stuff. More responsive.
Yep. Yeah, you got to really
power hogs.
If it's something that I've learned from KSP, damping, secondary movement from the sticks really will screw your day up when you're trying to catch something. If the sticks are doing this when they stop, if they're flapping around and you try to catch something, one of them flaps out of the way and you snag one and it doesn't end well. Those things really need to be like, and that's about it. If they go in and even move a little bit, that's really not great. But yeah, Ryan, any particular idea why? So I'm noticing at 39 they have all the trenches. That's the water trench right there, and your commodity trench is over here, right? Any particular reason why they're off the tower? There's this huge gap right there, and everything is in conduits, concrete conduits underneath. Also, I have some of that dirt sitting on my desk right there. Not kidding. Came in the mail the other day.
They have a split off for the tower. They have that at pad 2 as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they split off to the tower. Is what they there's a junction area where they split off. You can see it in the more recent imagery too. They all the cryo, high pressure, electrical, commodities, whatever, hydraulics. Hydraulics are mostly contained to the tower, but all that stuff gets put into that trench and then runs into the tower. Some of the stuff runs alongside the trench, and then it runs into the tower there, and then the cryo trench on the other there just goes to the pad. So they're split. So.
Yeah, this is the one that goes to the booster, and that's the one that goes to ship right there, right? And they have these kinks in the line, guys, to prevent hydraulic
loops.
Yeah, and prevent hydraulic hammering. That's right. That's why, they do this. Whenever I play like Satisfactory or something, or Factorio, I always put expansion loops into my pipeline design because I'm a nerd, and it looks awesome. Just saying.
But there's a large blast wall at this point, so between the pad and all of those lines you see there, they built a blast wall.
Oh, right here?
So, it starts right where all that stuff goes into the cryo trench. That goes to the pad.
Yeah,
it starts there and goes all the way towards the methane sphere, basically.
Oh wow!
And it runs all the way up.
Oh wow, that's no joke, dude.
Yeah, they literally built a wall covering the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a long, and I'm going to guess the blast wall is going to get bigger. My guess is they'll put it once they're finished with stuff. They'll also make it a little bit larger and kind of cover the water deluge stuff as well, with more of a blast wall. So it'll be one long blast wall to protect everything from whatever happens when they go to launch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what they'll do.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
There's going to be a pretty decent blast wall built once Pad 1 gets closer and once they're more done with stuff. They're going to build a pretty big one there as well, is my guess. If anyone's wondering what the black tank is, it's water.
That's what I was going to say. That's probably a separate water tank. That's not part of the tank farm system. They probably just use that to keep the dirt down and stuff. Beast
And then,
mode,
of course,
dude.
the big white building there, that's the control bunker for everything. That's a control bunker for the tank farm, basically.
Man, I wish this thing was right there. I wish it was on. I wish they could have built it right on the pad. It would look so damn cool.
It's just like I know you look at that pad and you go, okay, it could definitely probably tank it. It's just you're trying to integrate a lot of different stuff into that pad.
Dude, I actually, based off of what we were saying on the flame trench from 2 weeks ago, I actually looked into it. So the dugout part of the pad is the same width as 39A's flame trench. So
yeah, give or take.
It's about 60 feet or about 18 meters. So what you could do is, they have the cladding on the sides here. What do they call the speed core stuff? Is that what it's called?
Well, yeah, it's the speed core flame trench walls. It's a steel sandwich with concrete poured inside.
You could put the steel core on the sides of the flame trench over here and get the exact same flame trench width as this. Like I said, the dugout part is the same width as 39A's open flame trench. So you could do it. It's doable. You could absolutely get away with it. What you'd need to do here, though, is that the tower would need to basically go onto the crawlerway. And who cares? It doesn't matter. You're not getting a CT up here. But also, that'd be kind of lame. But whatever. It's not like you could get a CT up there right now,
Well, the other thing is are you gonna use the split trench? Are you gonna do both exits, or are you trying to do a single exit?
I would do double. There's a bidirectional diverter down there. SpaceX just doesn't use one side.
I'm just saying is because you don't want, because that would be a significant design change to try to tank all of that in a single direction.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. What I'm telling you is that there's enough height, right? And there's enough width here to basically build a Starship pad into this, and the plate would probably be the OLM would probably be at the height of the reaction frame right here. So it'd probably be from about here to here.
You wouldn't have to use weirs.
No.
For the deluge, because the weirs are literally there so that you can partially flood the line. I mean, we're talking about the deluge. When you see the those pipes that come up and then back down on the deluge at like pad 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're installed here yet. Are they installed here?
No, I'll show them.
But basically, those weirs, what they allow you to do is it basically floods up to the top of the tank, where the tanks are. So it floods nearly to the top of the weir, and then what you do is you can increase some pressure and then flood the line, and then when you go to engage the system, boom, you engage the system. The only reason why the top deck doesn't have a weir, it's the one without the weir in it, the go up and down, is because the top deck is above the tanks. So it floods the line floods all the way up to basically the plate itself, or just about, and then when the pressure goes, it then floods the rest of the thing, floods the plate and goes. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
weirs, exactly. It's the first time I've ever heard it used in this context. Yeah, that's basically to get all the air out of the line. Yeah.
And it's also a good way to just hold the water without needing valves. That's the basic thing. Is the other way to do it is to use valves, but of course valves can always fail. And well, if there's a system that you can do without valves, then hell, why not? And that doesn't require valves. It's a simplistic system.
Yep.
It's a relatively old picture. They're pretty far along there.
Yeah, I saw the pictures coming out of RGV. Pad 1 is...
Yep, that's going.
They're making some pretty fast progress there. But where were weirs? Check the clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
So they'll have a decent amount of capacity at that tank farm once it's all said and done. There's I think another 2 or 3. I think it's another 2 methane tanks yet to arrive. So another 4 locks, another 2 methane, and probably another 4 LN2 still yet to arrive. They're still getting more tanks for Starbase as well, and then of course they have to get all their tanks for Slick 37. So they have a lot of cryogenic tanks they still have to get. A lot.
Have they mentioned where the Falcon 9 landing zone would go? Tentatively, it's planned for up here. See where this flat area is? LZ-39 is supposed to be over here. There's supposed to be 2 landing pads there and there. The amount of deluge water to use seems to be a bottleneck to get 1 rocket a day. Where's the extra water at? Well, there's some right there, and there's some right there, and there's a lot more, like, right there.
So the tank, well, you can't use that water unless you have a desalination plant. The tank capacity at 39A is a little bit bigger on the bucket side. In theory, they have enough to run it both, but I think they are kind of being careful with filling it up all the way and maybe not using it. I don't know. But they do say that if they fire off the deluge, that's a scrub for the day. I think that'll change eventually. I think they're just being cautious at this time, making sure they have enough water for a launch. I think that'll change in the future. But again, that is the other thing to launch out of a pad a lot because, well, with that deluge, they can tie into the Cape system. So for those who don't know, the Cape, all the Cape pads are supplied by a water source, and especially 39A and 39B, you probably know where the pumping station is, EJ, for it. And that's what supplies that water tower, and the water tower at 39B, which will supply the water for 39A Starship pad. So once they hook all that in, they can just pump the water in, and they're in the process of still putting in a water line from Brownsville to the launch site so they don't have to truck the water in anymore. But it takes time to fill it. And however long it takes to fill it will be your limitation of how many times you can launch. That's the other thing too, is like it's not just the commodities that and refilling those and producing propellant that's going to slow them down. It's the water for the deluge. They used like 400,000 gallons a launch. Like seriously.
So you know, like a second ago when I said use a desalination plant, like remember that? That's
yeah.
What else could you use? You're not tapping into the municipal water systems at that point, dude, right? Like
you need to treat the water.
Yeah, they need to use potable water because you don't want to, as Ryan has said, you don't want to put salt water. Yeah,
you don't want to gum up your system with anything.
Yeah, it has to be filtered, or else you're going to break the deluge system.
So, like, you need to use potable water. So you either got to use the setup from that is feeding 39A and 39B, or you need to figure something else out. And a desalination plant is not something simple to build. Not when you have to, not when you're trying to treat 400 to 800,000 gallons of water. Like, that's not easy. That's not simple. That's very power intensive to do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, as much as there's a boatload of water nearby, you can't use it. Like, that's the thing. They can't use that not without treatment. That's going to be a big bottleneck on trying to launch a lot, is refilling their deluge. Again, like the logistics of this program, like I'm telling you how much prop they're using. Like a full stack, EJ, because doing this math with subcooled prop, a full stack currently uses 1,300 metric tons of liquid methane and almost 4,300 metric tons of liquid oxygen. almost 5,600 metric tons of liquid propellants. And that's just Block 3 stack. That's every single launch. They use every single bit of that. Tankers, you add a little bit more to that because it's your payload. But like...
So I have a question, Ryan. We can sit here and we can say that these are crazy hurdles to solve. How would you do it?
How would I do it to solve... Okay,
The water problem. Water problem. Let's start with the water problem. How would you do this? How, they need to scale to, let's say they want to scale to 1 flight a week, right? So that's 52 launches a year.
Okay, they can do what with being hooked up to the Brownsville water supply, and in this case being hooked up to LC-39's water system. One a week is not that. That's not that hard to do. They can truck things in. 1 a week's not hard. 2 a week. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. You should be able to fill the tanks up quick enough. Mm-hmm. You get an ASU running. You get methane liquefaction running. 3 a week. Okay, you're probably hitting that point. At that point, you're like, all right. If you're trying to do a daily launch, you have to refill those tanks. You may be able to get 2 launches out of that deluge system before the tanks are empty, which point you then have to refill the tanks. Well, how long does it take to refill? Or can you easily refill it between those 2 launches? With the launch, the tank farm, okay, you build enough capacity in to do like 2, maybe 3 launches, but how long does it take to refill? And in between the preparations of those launches, you have to bring in tankers, you have to use ASUs, which requires a lot of power. You start getting into the gaudy ridiculousness of trying to constantly refill the systems once you start getting more than 3 launches a week out of a single pad.
So that's what I'm saying. Easy. How would you solve this problem?
The quickest and simplest way, if we're going to ignore all environmental regulations and everything, you build a nuclear power plant with a desalination plant. You just pull it straight from the Atlantic Ocean and have.
That's what I said.
That's your water problem.
I am invincible.
Then on top of that, you use that nuclear power plant to support a 5,000 metric ton a day ASU to constantly fill the tank farm nonstop. And then you tap into a gigantic gas line and liquefy all that propellant. And you take this massive area, and that's just for 1 pad. That's it. That's for 1 pad. If you want to do like multiple launches a day out of 1 pad, that's what you need. Then you got to do that for LC-37. Oh, but that's got 2 pads on it. Okay. Then you do that like times 2. Oh, but you want to do that for Starbase too. Oh, and possibly Louisiana too. Oh, yeah. So you're building a couple of massive either solar farms, wind farms, nuclear power plants, geothermal power plants. We kind of need fusion power at this point, and a utterly ridiculous amount of water treatment and methane and propellant, like manufacturing, if you want to call it that. Liquefaction. You get into some stupidly ridiculous capabilities that you need to hit in order to actually hit it.
I like this plan.
But that's ignoring all environmental regs.
I like this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's do it.
Build a nuclear power plant where? Up where LC-49 used to be?
No, over here. Just build it behind the VAB. VAB could use 4 or 5 cooling towers. A 4-core BWR Mark III nuclear reactor complex here would be just fine. What, are you going to run out of water? It'll be great.
Oh, man. Oh, Sabatier process for methane would be that's useless. That is useless. That's so power intensive and pointless. If you've got a natural gas pipeline, just run a natural gas pipeline to it and liquefy that. That's insanely simpler, easier, and cheaper to do. That's what they're going to do at Starbase. They're running a gas line off of the Texas gas line, and they're going to run it over to the launch site and then liquefy it at the launch site, right next to their launch pads, because, that's smart. But yeah, it's Starpipe as it's called, which...
So the way to do this is to get some nuclear power action going. Cool.
You need a ridiculous amount of power to do all this. And I mean, the Cape needs more power anyway, so why not, right?
Dude, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, and while you're building that, maybe try to, I don't know, advance miniaturized nuclear reactors for, I don't know, other applications. You know, if you know what I'm saying, EJ, you know?
I mean, NASA is working on some nuclear stuff, and
Oh, there you go, Red Sox.
huh? What about it? What about the Red Sox?
No, I guess they just, I don't know.
Oh, nice. All right,
right
what do we got? Oh, base hit. That looks like a base hit to me. What's the score?
Well, nothing. Over the White Sox, which I think we can both agree, screw the White Sox.
Yes, precisely. I mean, yeah, you more than me, but also.
Well, I mean, Chicago. Everyone hates Chicago.
Yes.
Who likes Chicago, right? Like, no.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my boy right there. It's WC40. Dude, they beat the White Sox 14-2 yesterday, man. That's all I'm saying. 14-2.
Frickin', what was it? I think it was yesterday. We were against the Yankees. Alec Burleson, I think, had a 3-homer game.
Oh yeah. You guys are beating down on the Yankees. Oh, that makes me insanely happy.
I should have taken that post and tagged Sawyer.
Oh, you should have. You should.
I didn't do it.
You should have done. You should have done. Missed opportunity, man.
Missed opportunity.
That's all I'm saying.
Go Cubs. Get out. Go.
I think they beat the Yankees too.
I will say, with the Cubs, you have beaten the Dodgers lately, so you do get a pass on that. You're beating. Dodgers,
Hey, we swept the Dodgers. That's all I'm saying. We swept them.
Everyone hates the Dodgers. Who likes the Dodgers, right? The
I do.
Empire is what they are.
I like the Dodgers, but that's because they're in the National League. If they're playing the Red Sox, they can get screwed.
Nah, they're the evil empire. They can die in a hole.
Dude, somebody.
I wanted the Blue Jays to win that World Series so badly.
I would say Mariners for me, but.
Oh, I was rooting for them too. I was rooting for anyone but the Dodgers.
Shohei has a 1.79 ERA. Oh my goodness.
He's like a cheat code.
Dude, that guy is nuts. I like him. I think he's cool.
Okay,
but,
he's a nice guy. Like,
yeah,
okay, like him and Freddie Freeman. Like Freddie Freeman, it's kind of hard to hate Freddie Freeman too. He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, dude, there is people working on compact nuclear. I'm trying to find it, but somebody actually lit off a compact nuclear reactor the other day. Like, this was really recent. I probably should have covered it for Space News. Who the heck was it? Chat, I know you're going to link this. You're going to link it up before I can find it. New scale to power new scale. That's what it is. Have you seen the Kyle Hill video? I have not. They actually got a modular reactor working. So, dude, if we could get SMRs going and basically have little nuclear reactors that could like fit on the back of a truck, that like miniaturization of nuclear reactors is like, you know, the cars from Fallout, like, yeah, we could make that. I mean, you probably not going to see a Ford Nucleon around, but you know.
I mean, I wouldn't be against some of the Fallout tech, although, you know,
power armor.
It's such a cool universe to always go into because everything, like everything goes nuclear and stays analog.
Yeah,
they don't go like digital at all, but it all stays analog and nuclear. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, in the Fallout universe, they never invented the microchip. They instead invented on the tech tree, proverbial tech tree. They invented compact nuclear before the microchip. So.
And then they stuck with that and analog everything.
I mean, to be 100% fair, there's no need to make anything that's like more power efficient when you have compact nuclear. You have compact nuclear, you're basically the man.
Can you imagine our digital tech with compact nuclear though?
Oh, we're on the precipice of that. I'm telling you, NewScale, dude, they did it the other day. I gotta find it. They turned one on and it worked. Not just compact fission, compact fusion. Oh, if we crack compact fusion, none of what Ryan and I are saying about what Starship needs is going to be a big deal anymore. In fact, Starship isn't going to be a big deal anymore.
No, if we crack, compact fusion, Starship is obsolete in less than a second. Like Starship is obsolete at the snap of a finger. At that point, you're making impulse engines. And you're making fusion drives like from the Expanse, which I'm fine with.
Compact fusion. Someone's working on compact fusion too. Okay. Valor.
We just need to crack. We also need to crack antimatter reactors and 0-point energy too. That'll help.
Valor atomics.
Just need to get ZPMs.
Oh, that would be really nice. The grav gun from Half-Life would be very useful.
Oh yeah, right. Just what's gravity? At that point, we can make grav plating too. And then you don't need to create spin gravity.
Our reactor uses high temperature gas reactor HTGR design principles. Its architecture is an unmatched safety profile and proliferation resistance when paired with TRISO fuel. Okay, so TRISO is what? Tritium?
I think so.
Hold on. I posted a video. It was Antares who tested an SMR recently. That's who it is. Yeah, the point is that people are working on it. Can you imagine even like deploying compact nukes, like for disaster recovery or something? Like, the power grid goes out.
Nearly unlimited power instantly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. That's with a graphite moderator and helium coolant system. So they're using closed loop helium in this design. Well, yeah, this is fusion, so.
The ITER is still under construction, though. I can't wait till that thing's finished and they actually fire it up.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
That's going to be a big moment for humanity when that happens.
Mm-hmm. I know about Hellion, yeah, Mike, absolutely. Who fired theirs up? Antares did, dude. Like, point is that SMR, like, the Department of Energy and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission have kind of opened the doors on, like they didn't ease regulations. It's the same thing, guys, as like putting all commercial launches under FAA jurisdiction for rockets. They streamlined the process. They didn't deregulate it. So now you got all these crazy nuclear startups all over the place, which is, I'm here for it, man. We crack compact, dude. Even compact fission would be bananas. That's a game changer. That's a game changer. Like, okay, compact fission. You remember that nuclear powered train idea that we had? You could do that. That would work. I mean, I'd still argue that the best way to do it would be to put the nuke on terra firma and then just connect the tracks to the grid. But you could do that too. Compact nukes would make that an extremely scalable and easy option to electrify rails. No problem. No problem. That's like easy. That's easy peasy. Four startup reactors hit criticality by July 4th to beat a presidential deadline. The milestones that actually matters is the one the press quietly skipped. Huh. Interesting. Antares Nuclear, Valor Atomics, Deployable Energy, and Allo Atomics each achieved criticality. Holy crap, dude. I didn't really realize that this was going on. Well, I knew about this stuff, but it didn't really click into my head until what you guys are just saying, when we couldn't figure out who hit criticality, and everybody here said a different company. I was like, wait, what? What? Rolls-Royce is building SMRs. Lockheed is working on it, too. Dons, I can see your link. What do you got? By the 4th for the 250, we had the following companies go critical. Antares Nuclear, Valor, Deployable Energy, and Allo Atomics. Is there an echo in here? Oh, it's 2-0. Another home run. By the way. Got a text from my dad. Aloe is pronounced like the plant you use for burns. Oh, all right. Well, maybe they should spell it that way. I'm just kidding. So, Dons, what do you got? This might be the most aggressively American startup I've ever seen. They're trying to build nuclear reactors 100 times faster than the nuclear industry ever has. The founder, Isaiah Taylor, grew up on food stamps and dropped out of high school at 16. Cool. His great-grandfather literally worked on the Manhattan program. He read about working on the Manhattan project, because that's what that says. Literally means you read it in literature. Actually is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yes, I'm a grammar Nazi, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Generations later, Isaiah built a working nuclear reactor before turning 28 and named it Ward after him. Nice. Grammar macht frei! Jawohl. A Bostonian concerned about grammar? Hey, I'm weird, spoiled. I'm not going to apologize for it, okay?
We're all weird. What do you want?
Yeah. Pentagon used 3 military C-17s to airlift the reactor 700 miles from California to Utah for the first of its kind of its... Dude, it fits in 3 C-17s? Hold up. Yamaha? We're listening to Starbase Live. Every time something cool drives by highway, we listen. That sounded like Yamaha. That sounded like the same Yamaha we heard before. Honda? Hold on. Gotta back it up. That might be a Honda. CBR 600, I'd say. I think you're right, Tessa. You know bikes better than me. Hey, last night, what's going on? Fistus, I ran the numbers through Gork. 1 million gallons per day desalination would require 0.65 megawatt draw. Desalination really isn't that power hungry anymore. Valor's end goal is to build the same reactor thousands of times across nuclear gigasites to make energy 10 times cheaper. They'll use that energy to pull carbon out of thin air and turn it into oil and gas for supreme energy abundance. Huh. I mean, with enough power, you could turn goat piss into gasoline. That's all I'm saying. We had enough power to turn goat piss into gasoline. That's going to require a lot of carbon scavenging. I would argue that trees do that really well. Trees do that already. But, you know. Just raise $1 billion at a $6 billion valuation to scale it. Wow. Dude, that's nuts. And it fits on a frigging SPMT. Well, 3 SP. Well, almost all of it. He's doing it to make fuel grow, not trees. Interesting. Dude, yeah, even something like this. Something like that, you'd be good to go. Yeah, Ryan, I have a dumb question. And this is where my mind went. Elon bought a power company. I think it's APR Energy out of Jacksonville. They make it's modular, it's scalable power deployment. So they make like the type of gas turbine that you'd find on an oil rig to generate power, and diesel power generation rigs like the Kohler generator. Like they have stuff like that. Elon bought that power company. You think Elon's going to make that play on nuclear scalable?
I think he should. Not just for him.
I kind of agree with you.
But push the tech. He's got the money to push the technology forward, so let's do it. I still think it's dumb that we went away from nuclear as much as we did.
Yeah, I knew we were friends for a reason. There's a relevant XKCD here.
Again, like we went away from nuclear and other things to go towards something that's a very finite resource for power generation, and it's just stupid. It's stupid.
There's a relevant XKCD here. We don't need to get mad. All I got to do is show you this. This is energy density in megajoules per kilogram. Sugar has 19 megajoules per kilogram. Coal, 24. Fat, 39. Gasoline, 46. Uranium, 76 million.
No, now try like what is it? My God. I'm forgetting my hydrogen isotopes.
Thorium. Everybody likes thorium.
Go at throttle up.
No, it's the hydrogen isotope you'd normally use in a fusion reactor.
Plutonium, 238.
No, that's fission, not fusion.
Yeah, well. Deuterium, tritium.
There's deuterium, right? Words. Deuterium and tritium. Those are the two. I was about to say, take the energy density of those two with fusion. Like, Jesus Christ. There's enough deuterium and tritium on the face of this planet to run basically human civilization as we know it for, like, I don't know. It's something like the next couple, like, billion years. It's like 30, 40 billion years, give or take. It's a lot.
Yeah.
If we develop fusion power along those lines, and it's just, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But uranium is very energy dense, and a lot of people always go, well, what about the waste? It's like, there's not that much waste. You get the spent fuel rods. You just have to contain them correctly. And you just let them sit until their half-life's over. Now, if you're like uranium-235 or like 238, your half-life is pretty long. I think it's 238's half-life is like 4 billion years. One of its half-lives. I think it's 230. Let me look again.
You could throw it in a volcano. That's not a bad idea. Just like Factorio. We don't need it. Throw it in the lava. Get the inserter.
238's half-life is 4.468 billion years.
What about
235 is 704 million. But once you've used it, you've split it. So you've got spent fuel, so it's a little bit different.
Oh, nice, Tessa. That's cool. Yeah, man. If we crack that, we cracked that, we're good to go, man. Spent fuel could also be recycled. We could do that.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. military decided to take spent uranium and turn it into bullets and put it in a flying gun.
I mean, I like that part. That part's pretty cool.
But then you're firing spent uranium at people, which is not necessarily great. I mean, not that firing at people is great to begin with, but spent uranium.
No. We don't fire it at people. We fire it at tanks. Okay.
Tanks.
Differences. Not much. There's people inside of the tanks, but
I was about to
say. I will admit. I will say that A-10s have fired a lot more at tanks that have nobody in them than they have had people in them. Correct. That's the right way to say that.
Because depleted uranium, if I remember.
Depleted means it's
You
238 with the 235.
You're removing
removed.
most of the 235 isotope from the natural. It's mildly radioactive metal left over after removing most of the fissile material. Is what it is.
No, Baron, I don't.
That's right, because the depleted uranium is after you've split the fissile material from the non-fissile stuff, so you're separating the 235 from the 238. That's right, that's what depleted uranium is, and it's mostly 238 at that point.
Listen to Nader Hunter in chat, Brian, in the Twitch chat. He's my nuclear guy. He's my nuclear guy.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember what it was off the top of my head, and I remembered it, and I see he said the exact same thing I did.
Yes, sir. Nuclear energy. What is nuclear energy? I'm Italian. But Dojo, all I'm saying is that if the Romans had nuclear power, they would have used it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They probably would have used it to turn the Germanic tribes into glass as well, but also, whatever. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, because 238 won't. It's not fissile. Won't fission because of the slightly different isotope.
Ryan's still on about isotopes. you took what I said. You're just like, yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That would happen. All right. Cool. Uranium 230. He's like, yeah. That would happen. I agree. All right. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry. That made me laugh. What I'm talking about is a completely normal conversation. If the Roman Empire had nuclear weapons, you're like, yep, that's what would happen. All right, cool, moving on.
Oh, they're getting ready to move that new tank. Nice.
Which tank? Tell us. You can't just say that, dude.
S-43.1 is going to move tonight to Massey's. Is what it looks like. The nose cone structural test article.
Oh, that thing.
That thing.
Cool. There's a couple more things with space news here, but it's mostly moon-based stuff, and I think I might save it for tomorrow.
Mun base?
Yeah, Mun base. Let's go. But SpaceX posted this, that Crew 13 completed their training in California. Falcon 9 is targeted to launch Dragon crew to the space station in September. There we go. So we have, Jessica Watkins, Luke Delaney, that's Joshua Kutrick from the Canadian Space Agency, and Sergei, balls. Sergei Alexandrovich Teryakinov.
Sure.
Bruh.
I can say some Russian names, but others I can't. There's a lot of Russian names I know from the Second World War.
Tetryakinov.
Like famous generals and stuff like that. Like
Zhukov.
Georgy Zhukov, Rodion Melanovsky, Nikolai Vatutin, Ivan Konyev, Fyodor Tobukin, Ivan Bagramian. Yeah. There's a lot of front commanders.
How much Hearts of Iron do you play?
A lot.
Yep. Okay.
Vasily Chuikov.
Guillermo del Toro. I don't think that's one October Sky. I don't think that's one of the Soviet generals from World War II.
Ivan Bagramian is definitely Russian or Soviet. Ivan Bagramian was one of the commanders of one of the Baltic fronts, the first Baltic front, during Operation Bagration.
Yeah, Armenia was kind of part of the Soviet Union at the time. Not by choice, might I add.
Andrei Yeremenko.
Space-based solar X-Wing, yeah. Not a Dyson swarm, yeah. If you're talking about putting solar panels up in space and then microwaving it back down here, yeah. We could do that. That's what Star Raker was originally supposed to do. Are you, Ryan, are you familiar with Star Raker?
Oh, if I remember that one.
Star Raker is a super heavy lift SSTO that was made by Rockwell. That's basically a C5 with an external tank shoehorned into the back with 3 shuttle engines on the back of that. And then, for all intents and purposes, I'd say a bunch of XB70 engines on the wings. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of one. Star Raker was designed to deploy cheap space-based solar and then microwave it back down to the Earth. Yeah, here, take a look. Yeah, Star Raker was
Ivan Bagramian was born in what is now Azerbaijan. Just to say it. But I remember that thing. Okay, yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'd point out that Azerbaijan is right next to Ossetia and Armenia. Just putting it out there.
Still.
It's very close to each other.
They are.
They're all in a region called the Caucasus.
Yep.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dudes. So, yeah. I think I'm going to put all these up there. And I'll leave that space news for tomorrow. We have hit the end here for this Space and Rocket review. Did you not do a Kerbal creation close to that? Oh, I built that thing in Kerbal. Yeah. We could never get the tessellated wings to jive correctly with the aerodynamics. But we did make that, yes. And it was rad. I don't know if you ever saw my Star Raker build. It was pretty good. You're still reading about isotopes, aren't you?
Me?
Yes, you. You're still reading about them, aren't you?
No.
I know you have the window up.
I'm looking at something else at the moment.
What are you looking at?
I was looking at all the marshals of the Soviet Union and seeing where they were born.
Yeah, that's right. We changed subjects. That's right. I started an SERV but abandoned it. Oh crap! I still have to give you. You asked me to give you that like 2 years ago. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, man. I had some stuff go down. It wasn't great, dude. It wasn't great. I'm busy. I can't afford it. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. Someone stole my car. It wasn't my fault. I swear to God. You know what I just realized? If someone's clicking on this stream right now, they're probably extremely confused. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to stop the Space and Rocket review, and we will move into the After Hours segment. You know, that's probably...
What are we doing for After Hours?
What do you think? Take a guess. There was an earthquake, a horrible flood. That's right. Yeah, that's right. You know, I was on a mission from God.
No, of course. Then I get to funny names or long names in World War II, and you get to some German ones that are just incredibly, utterly long, and it's just ridiculous, and it's just funny. Like, what is it? Heinrich Grosswitz von Großes und Kamenetsk was a German general.
Was? Mein Freund, I don't think you pronounced that correctly.
I probably didn't entirely pronounce it correctly. It was Strachwitz Battle Group Gesundheit. Here, let me. I probably definitely didn't pronounce the whole thing, but here I'll post that. That's his name. I posted it in chat. Stupidly long names. I know I didn't pronounce that right. It's what it is.
Willie Messerschmitt. Who are we blessing? Ryan, Space Pope.
Who are we blessing? Gesundheit.
You've been watching the whole stream, yet I'm still confused.
That's not his name. That's a collection of words. His name is Chow John.
His family named him after a flower? How do you say hyacinth in German? I don't even know. Hyacinth Grafs Brachwitz von Gross Sausch und Kaminetz.
Prominence. Yeah.
Do you ever cover this? FCC approves of first reflect orbital satellite. No, we're out of time, dude. So we'll move over into Battlefield here. I'm gonna jog the YouTube VOD and I'll be right back. We'll move into after hours. All right. So thank you very much for watching, Ryan. Thank you for popping in for this space news. It was fun, dude.
Yeah. Fun as always.
Good times. All right, I'm gonna mute this up and I will jog the YouTube VOD and we will go from there. Okay. Thank you very much for watching Space News, guys. Stay tuned for BF6 After Hours here. Oh my God, people are just posting German names in chat now. That's great. Awesome Space News as usual. Thank you very much for watching. All right, so on YouTube, I'm going to flip the VOD. On Twitch, just stay here. We'll switch over to BF6. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in a second.